Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I am going to be talking about a very important topic, and that is about fast fashion. If this is the very first time that you are learning about this topic, I'm very excited for you to be watching this video to educate yourself and to kind of have an eye-opening experience about what that all is about, especially now where we live in a time where there's a lot of consumerism within and around clothes and fashion. And of course, fashion is part of our everyday life. And especially if you like fashion and going shopping, which I'm pretty sure there's no one that does not like going shopping, at least online shopping. I personally prefer online shopping because I feel like I can take my sweet time and think about what I'm going to buy. I can also bargain, but I'll go a little bit more into that later on in the video. But I first want to dig deep into what fast fashion means. So stick around if you want to learn a little bit more about how you can be a little bit more sustainable in your life and make better and positive changes when it comes to buying and shopping for your clothes. For today's drink, I have a iced matcha with soy milk and 1 pump of hazelnut syrup. This is from Starbucks, but I always take my to-go cup because it's more sustainable. We're talking about sustainability here. So grab yourself a drink because this is going to be quite an extensive video. Now, if you want to skip to the part on how to be eco-friendly when you're shopping, you can skip this whole part, but I advise you not to. That way you can have an understanding on the importance of why you need to shop sustainably. So let's start with the term fast fashion. Fast fashion is clothing that is quickly made to keep up with the latest trends. It's often produced in large quantities and with cheap materials, using sweatshops in places like Asia and China, forcing even children to work in these places for very long, extensive hours in very poor working conditions. It has environmental impact. It causes pollution in the planet. Workers have very low wages, way less than the minimum wage to live, and most of the time these clothes are made with very cheap materials to keep producing in large quantities and large masses to be able to keep up with the trend of social media and the fast fashion industry. The problem here is not the fact that they produce clothing in such a rapid amount of time. It's the way that it's done. The fact that it generates so much waste and it emits a lot of pollution in the planet causes more harm. And a lot of the time, people that buy these clothing at, for example, Shein, Target, Walmart, Hollister, American Eagle, like all of those very popular big companies don't really know what's behind the clothes that they buy or how they even get there. When I first learned about what the fast fashion industry was, I was probably in my late teens, probably 19. And ever since then, I started making so many changes, and everything that I tried to buy, I always try to get used first. I go on apps like MERCARI, POSHMARK, Depop, Facebook Marketplace, online thrift stores on Instagram, Goodwill, Savers, consignment stores. There's so many options out there that you guys can try first before buying something new. If you guys want an even more extensive education and information on what fast fashion is, there's actually various documentaries that you can watch on your own time. The first one that I recommend is The True Cost. I highly advise you to look into that and dig a little bit deeper to really have a deep understanding on the clothes that you have been buying. Now, this video is by no means a way to make you feel guilty about the clothes that you already have. It's more so about the learning process of when you go shopping, what other alternatives there are to buying fast fashion trends. When talking about the environmental impact of fast fashion industry, there are many segments or parts to this. The first one is pollution. When these clothes are made so rapidly and tend to use cheaper materials, they tend to use dyes and toxic chemicals and microplastics in your clothing that later contaminates the water and the soil when this is thrown away or ends up in landfills. Also, the production, transportation, and the disposal of these garments generates a lot of greenhouse gases, which then is also contributing to climate change. And then we have the waste part of it. So because people are constantly buying and getting rid of their clothes clothes in such a fast pace and buying new trends to keep up with these trends. It's basically encouraging a throwaway culture where clothes are often being discarded after very minimal use because it just tears down in a very short period of time. And then these synthetic fibers that are used in fast fashion take so long to decompose, and then in the process they're releasing toxins in the water and the soil. If you guys haven't already, I would really like for you to try just grabbing a piece of clothing, a shirt or a dress, something from your closet, and make sure you read the material that was used to make that shirt. Like for example, this is not from an eco-friendly store. This was thrifted. My pants were thrifted. This is my outfit for the day. And I love it so much, but this is not new. I just checked what this sweater is made of, and the two materials that were used to make this sweater or this top is rayon and nylon. And those are not very eco-friendly materials. So if I were to throw this away or donate it where it might end up in a landfill, because not everything that you donate to Goodwill or thrift stores are actually resold. Sometimes they just throw it away in the garbage. It would take forever, and these red dyes that were used to make this would end up in the water and the soil. So instead of that happening, I'm reusing it and I'm giving it a new purpose. As I mentioned, there's also labor issues. The workers that make the clothes in sweatshops have to work extensive hours, more than 40 hours a week, maybe even double than that or triple than that. And they get no breaks. They basically have no sleep. They don't pay them even enough for their basic needs. And sometimes the work is even forced. And the reason for this is because they have to work mandatory overtime to meet the deadlines imposed by fashion brands. As you can imagine, this can lead to emotional and physical exhaustion. I remember when I used to shop a lot at Shein for a time, I was obsessed with Shein because, the website itself looks very cool, all the pictures are really nice. But when it comes to the reviews, a lot of the times, a lot of people send back so many clothes because the fit is not right, it doesn't feel right, it's like scratchy material, and it's just very low quality. So that's another con of the fast fashion industry. It can mostly always lead to improper sizing and fit. And that's what it's for. It's not supposed to last a long time because they want you to keep buying and buying more. They're designed to be trendy and disposable. Okay, now that I have given you and thrown all of this information on you about the negatives of the fast fashion industry, and don't forget to watch documentaries and look up more information on this, I'm now going to provide you with alternatives and things that you can do instead of buying fast fashion trends and buying and discarding these clothes that you're not happy with. The first thing you can do is thrift shop, which is my favorite option because it's still very affordable. You're giving a new life to something that was someone else's and it's still in very good condition. You can get it for half or even more than half the price in the regular price. In all honesty, I feel like thrift stores have more size ranges and styles instead of just going to one specific store that has the same trends all year long. There's also the slow fashion, which is the total opposite of fast fashion. Slow fashion is basically buying from companies that are intended to help the planet, and their clothes are made with specific organic cotton or eco-friendly materials like linen or wool. And these pieces are made to last for years and years and years. Yes, the downside of this is that these clothes are more expensive. They're on the higher end price range. But if you're willing to make a capsule wardrobe and just stick to the basics and create different outfits with a small amount of pieces in your collection, then this is a great way to keep things minimal, buying higher end quality materials and pieces. You don't have to be thrift shopping all the time to continuously putting outfits and pieces together. Slow fashion also focuses on ethical brands that treat the workers fairly, they pay their workers fairly, and they use sustainable materials that even if you were to throw them away, it won't be doing any harm and it won't cause pollution. There's also the DIY and upcycling factor of this that you can try. That's not one that I'm very fond of because I don't know how to sew, I don't know how to do any of that part of it, although I have tailored some dresses in the past, but that means going out of my way to find someone that I trust and that I know is going to do a good job. So for me personally, I feel like that's more of an effort than just going thrift shopping or buying online on secondhand online thrift stores like MERCARI, POSHMARK, Facebook Marketplace, and so on. But this is if you know how to sew, if you're willing to learn how to sew, go with a tailor and have your clothes mended and fixed, then I highly suggest that option as well. And there's also rental services that you can try. For example, if you're going to a wedding or a special event, instead of going out of your way and buying this trendy outfit just for that one night or that one evening, you can go to these renting services and just rent a dress and then return it and take it back for someone else to use it. I'm going to be reading and listing a few sustainable fashion brands that you guys can look into. The first one is Patagonia. The next one is Reformation. The next one is Cotton. I think that's how you say it, but it's spelled K-O-T-N. The next one is Pact. There's also Tentree, Eileen Fisher. There's Organic Basics. There's Girlfriend Collective. There's People Tree. There's Everlane. I have personally shopped from Everlane. Everlane is more for basics, solid colors for the most part. It's easy to mix and match with other outfits. These are just a few of many options that you guys can try to minimize the environmental impact when you buy your clothes. And the next time that you go out and you buy a specific item, think about everything that I've mentioned, and also think about how us as consumers were very responsible with the way we buy things, and especially the things we put on, because if the things that we wear are comfortable and they fit well and they don't wear and tear very shortly after, then we're gonna enjoy the things that we buy as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if there was anything that shocked you about this video, anything that I mentioned about the fast fashion industry in the comments down below, and I will be seeing you in my next video.